Hello. Listen, if you're listening on the Talk About It podcast, or if you're listening on the BAM community, listen, I came back. I did a live earlier with the BAM community, but I decided, hey, let's do this over and just give some principles instead of going live, just to record so that I won't have to talk back and forth to my live viewers, which I love rocking out with y'all. But baby, I was having some issues. You got to be in the community to understand, okay? But I want to share these principles with you that would allow you to process and grow. If you know me, this is my Let's Talk About It Tuesday. I do in my BAM community live, but I'm also going to share this on my YouTube as well as my podcast because I want to be able to share these principles I always talk about life, love, marriage, ministry, and money. And this is going to be about money. I never really share this, but I'm like, this is financial literacy month, and I really want to show people how to become financially free. My husband and I have talked about financial literacy and how to become financially free. We've also talked about how, to build businesses, and we've talked on Mind Your Business Mondays. We've been discussing that, but I wanted to come to my women and show them the habits and the things that I have learned over the years. If you know me, I love to share my experience. And so I want to show you how 12 different things. I know there's probably multiple habits that everybody have, but these are my 12 habits that has allowed us and helped us activate a 7-figure business. And I want to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to share these 12 habits that I pray will be able to help you grow and glow and go to the next level that God has called you to be in. Here we go. Grab your pen, piece of paper. Let's grow. If you don't know me, my name is Tonya Harden, aka Pastor T of the New Destiny Fellowship Church. As I stated before, I was live earlier today on the BAM community, and you may hear it another time for others, but it will be shared with the BAM community today. And so I share with you 12 principles, 12 habits that has helped me activate my husband and I 7-figure business. I know he has his 12, I have mine, and these are mine that I'm sharing that has allowed me to get a mindset first, right, of becoming 7-figure business. Let me say that. I just feel bad saying it, but I want to share this, man, because if you know me, I like to share with the world, like with those that listens and apply with the things that I share with them. That, man, I'm an old girl, lost everything, you know. We lost the house, not everything, Lord. I still have my babies, praise the Lord. So I'm gonna stop saying that. But we lost our house, and not lost. We didn't pay our bill. We'll talk about that. We didn't do a lot of things, and so because of that, we were homeless. Repos, all that. So I've experienced all that, and that was a moment in my life. And my husband and I, we made the decision we gonna have to do something different. And so when we made that decision, I made it in 2015. I got to do something different because I knew it was more. I didn't know how much more, but I knew there was more that was out there. And so I made the decision in 2015 to create habits. And I have kept up with those habits. A lot of them, not all, is one I haven't, but I'm going to do better and we're going to talk about it. But there's a lot of them that I have. So listen, I pray that this helps you, and I pray that you're able to grow. So let's jump right into it. 12 habits that has helped us activate a 7-figure business. The first habit is we had to have a kingdom vision and clarity. Kingdom vision and clarity. You have to have the vision. Where Proverbs 29 says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. Because of lack of knowledge, you don't know, and you find yourself and you lose yourself trying to figure out how, where, why did I start? Because you did not write down the vision. The Bible says write the vision down and make it plain so whoever can read it. Habakkuk. Write it down, make it plain so whoever can read it can run with it. Even though it may tarry, wait on it. It's coming. You got to be willing. And I think that's the thing. Most people think that when you become, I want $1 million business, or I want to be a millionaire and all this stuff, and don't realize that you're going to go through some tarrying moments. You got to go through some type of moments. This ain't everybody's story, but I can definitely say for us, it has always been a trial test moments, right? And we still go through that. And here's the thing though, but we go back to the vision. We go back to what the vision said. We know that we're clear about what God told us to do. My husband always says God told me in 2015 to write a book. That was the first thing the Lord told me to do, was to write a book outside of what I was doing within my church. That was for me and not for everybody else, for me to write a book. And so I did it. And then I realized when I wrote my book, I started my business. Had no idea. And it went from books to other stuff. And we'll kind of talk about that as well. But this is the thing that I found out, was that your vision allows you to have a foundation that will fuel your faith. When you have a foundation that will fuel your faith, you got to go back to the vision. Here's the thing though. I wrote the vision down of how I was going to write my book. I had to write an outline, what it was going to look like, right? Even in my book, even when I do Women of Destiny, I have to do my outline. I have to do stuff with that for Women of Destiny, right? We have to create visions for that. What's the vision? What we're going to do? How it's going to be? And I found myself, everything I do, I have a vision for it. I got to. And that's why we do vision boards, is because the vision boards allow me. This year on my vision board, I have already done, and it's over here by me. I got it in front of me because I want to be able to see whatever I accomplished. I've accomplished all of it pretty much, except for about 3 things on my vision board, because I have a vision and I go back to the vision of what I said I was going to do in this year. Right? You got to be willing to have a vision, and I have a vision for every capacity, and we'll talk about all of those different things that I do. All right. Number 2, you got to be willing to not give up. Oh, can you type that? Look, I'm thinking I'm live. Hold on, Tonya, you're not live. You're just doing a video. Okay. Don't give up. You gotta not give up on the plans that God has told you to do. You didn't wrote it down. You put it on paper. You said you were gonna do it. But here's the thing: is that we get sidetracked. We give up. We try multiple things, and then when that thing don't work, we try something else. When that thing don't work, we try something else. I can tell you, because I am you and you are me. I have been there before, where I have tried stuff and it did not work, and I tried something else and it did not work, and found myself. I believe if I would have stuck with it, it would have worked, but I didn't have a vision for it. And I didn't know, I wasn't clear. I didn't know my why, or what I was doing it, why I was selling Mary Kay, why I was selling, vacuums, why I was selling, doing the, what they say with the traveling agent and all this different, man. I didn't try so much stuff. You understand me? And I found out it wasn't my vision. It was theirs. What she say? It wasn't my vision. It was theirs. And so I had to learn how to create my bit. Every now, this is not for everybody, because some people, you want to be able to help people with their vision, and that's cool. That's no problem. But I was the type of person, again, I knew that millionaire status was my portion. And I believe now that billionaire status is my portion. It's coming one day. I pray before I turn 50. I'm believing the Lord for that. I'm speaking it. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna speak those things. But for now, I realize, like, I want to make sure that I don't give up. Steve Harvey said it best. He said the reason why that he's successful is because he didn't give up. Nipsey, whatever his name, I remember him saying, he's a very wise guy, even I rest his soul. But he also said, he just never gave up. The reason why it worked for him, because he never gave up. Most people that are successful is because they don't give up. But what we do is we put it back on the shelf, or we start something else, and we don't go through the process of learning it. I can't wait to share with you at the end. Stick with me, because I'm going to share with you at the end on how that looks and what that looks like. So you got to learn that at the end of the day, I don't want to just show up for the glam, that it's all great. And, oh my God, we have $1 million and I have a 7-figure business and I have a business. Right now, one of my mentors, and I share with the BAM community, was that I remember her when she started in her apartments. I've been buying clothes from her. One, not a mentor, but she's like a girl I know that I buy clothes from, and I've been rocking out with her since she started in her apartment. I was buying clothes then. She went from apartment to she bought a house. She went from a house to she started selling outside of a house into a warehouse. She went from a warehouse to something else, and now she has a 8-figure business. Man, when I heard her say that the other day, you talking about proud moment, because I'm so excited that, man, you show me that there's a possibility that we could get to that. You understand what I'm saying? Because she moved slow, not fast. I started buying clothes from her back in 2012. Yeah. And she is now a 8-figure business. What a blessing, right? And no, it ain't about the money, but I'm pretty sure she put in the work. She also, I saw when she had the downsize, she had multiple employees, and she said, "Hey, I'm the only one that got work right now because the business is not where it is." I love stories like that because I see your struggle. I see, man, and we tell the Dean know our struggle. Lions Den community, small business, shameless plug, small business community know our struggle because we go through, man. But you know what? God is always faithful. He's always just. He's always there. All right. So you got to keep up with the habit and don't quit. Do not give up on your dream. Just keep going and stop starting over with different stuff. It's okay to start over, but if you keep starting over, you one minute you want to cook, the next minute you want to build houses, or the next minute, stop it. Just do what you put on your vision to do and walk in it. Number 3, read. One of the habits I had to do, my 12 habits that I had to do, I had to learn to read. Leaders are readers and readers are leaders. Forever say that. Readers are leaders and leaders are readers. There are some things in the book. And the reason why I'd rather have, and I told them earlier, I would rather have a tangible, something tangible. I listen to audio right now. I'm listening to disruptive thinking. I'm not an audio girl because I need to have it in my hand so that I can flip the pages. Again, I'm not knocking out audio people. That's okay. Do what you do. But go get the book, even if you got the audio, so that you could at least go through and highlight some things that the person has said to you. You want to make sure you're able to do that and just have that. I encourage anyone. This is my challenge to you. And I challenged the BAM this morning is that I want to tell you, get a book. You can get one of mine. No, get anybody's. It don't matter. But I did a 14-day journal. You could get that, but read, and it's small. You get something and read one page a day. That's it. One page a day. If you're not a big reader, read one page a day. I promise you, you will see the trajectory of your life start the process of changing. It ain't gonna change overnight, but it will change at the process. You will start seeing yourself thinking more. It makes your mind go, because when you flip through the pages, you start to think. One thing I love about not just inspirational books, but fictional books as well, is that I get to go on the journey of the writer, and I'm walking through with them, and my mind is going. That's why I love it. I like it tangible, because I get to think with you, and I think through the book, and that what I thought starts to turn out into an imagination, and that imagination starts to turn into, man, this is happening. Right? You able to read. All right, let me get off that. Number 4, you got to get up early. Seek me early in the morning. Lord, the Bible says, yeah, seek me early. One thing I love, and I've heard this so many times, that multimillionaires are the ones that wake up between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. When I think it was in the book Jumper Instincts. I said, oh yeah, because I see me being a millionaire. I see me being 7-figure business. I see me being, So I'm gonna get up early in the morning. So I get up early because that's what they do. And because I started doing that, our business now is a 7-figure business. Okay. My husband gets up early. Everybody in my house get up early except for Madison. And she the one want to run the business. I'm gonna need her to do better. But she don't get up early, but everybody else do. Everybody is up early moving. We're up, working out, moving, going. Because if they said that work, and I found out that it does, it is my habit. My habit is to get up early, speak affirmations, get up early, pray. Because you can't do this without prayer. Of course, that really should have been number 1, but you got to have prayer along with what you're doing, all right? Number 5, exercise Jesus. This is my downfall. But then I told the BAM program this morning, community. I said, listen, one thing I found out, I was beating myself up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not working out. I'm not that. And then I had to look in my pantry. Baby, I don't have no Debbie cakes. Not none. They have not been here like 2-3 years. I started the journey about 3 years ago. No Debbie cakes are in my pantry. No, we don't have a lot of beef. Because we don't eat beef like that. Now I got some bacon, but pork chop. Because I wanted to change my way of eating, and I looked up and I said, "Oh my God, we've changed. Now we just got to implement exercise, right?" My husband started walking, moving around. I started walking during the 90-day program, and I stopped, and I'm gonna start again. Whatever. That's my downfall, but that is what you do when you want to. Even though we're there, because here's the thing: even though we have a 7-figure business, and I don't work out committedly or consistently like I should, you still want to do that. I still want to do that because I want to be able to see my wealth. I want to be able to experience it. And I want to be here and I want to live that part. And so, anyway, you want to be able to work out. You need that. You got to have faith. You got to exercise your faith, but you also got to exercise your fitness for that. All right. Number 6, you need sleep, sugar. So I found out when I started working, when I started my own business, right? And literally I started my own business, but I was still working for other people here and there. In 2015, I started my own coaching business or whatever. But then when my husband and I started together, it was like real work for real. And so, keeping up with books and, contracts and all that, it was a little bit more deeper, which I'm grateful for, so grateful for it. But I found myself up. I would wake up at 5 in the morning, and at 5:30, work out, pray, all that great stuff. And then from 6 a.m. until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, I'm working. No lunch break, no break, because we were building, and we still are building our business, But I found out I needed sleep. Millionaires sleep too. They go to sleep. Most wealthy people go to sleep early. They're not up all night like that. Well, some, I don't know, it depends on y'all. But you need at least 7 hours to rest. Rest is so important. It's so important and so needed. It allows you, for me, at the end of my day, I have a tablet on the side of my bed, and I always say I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. I got this from Oprah Winfrey. 5 things I'm grateful for. 3 things that I could do better in, because I don't want to overwhelm myself. 3 things I need to do better, and 5 things I'm looking to do for tomorrow, for the next day. I love it. It's such a like gratitude for my day, what I can do better, growth, development, and what I want to see tomorrow, speaking into my day. Right? You want to be able to do that. Number 7, dream big, journal. It goes back to I journal in the morning, and then I journal at night. And I dream big because I have a big journal. I shared this with them. I have a big journal. I'm going to repurpose this, but I have a big journal, and I write in this journal. My 90-day program was written in that journal. I have to write it out first, then I put it on the computer, because I really feel like what I realized when I dream big, I needed to go from my brain to my heart to my fingertips. And it's like all over again. I get to see it now on paper. Now I get into my heart. Now I get into my brain. And now I'm walking out in it, because I got to see it. I got to be it. I got to believe it. I got to see it. And then I have to be it. And I do that through writing out, because my dreams are so big. When you have big dreams and your dreams are bigger than you, you got to be able to journal those dreams. You should have big dreams. You gotta, man, I speak, and I always say, Lord, money chases after us to bring resources to our community, to our city, to our children. I believe that to our church, that it's bringing that. I spoke that. I spoke it. And the Lord did it. Woo, wait a minute, Lord. I didn't know you was going to really do it. And what I mean by he did it, he created resources. And my husband was speaking in our church. God sent us great resources. He would say it every time on a Sunday morning. Lord, make us a great resource. Well, we were able to take care of our city by taking care of restoring 300 homes during the storm. 300 homes was over 300 homes was restored. We're able to give microwaves, refrigerators, give back to our community, take care of them, air conditions. The Lord, because we spoke it. And God did it. Speak those things to be not as though they were, so that you can walk into the dream big. Yeah. Now, that ain't what we asked the Lord to do, but that's what he did. And we were able to do that for our community. We were able to, even in our now, able to help a whole nother state with that, North Carolina, South Carolina, going down there to help them. Those people are so appreciative, because we're able to give back to them. God has made us a resource in a whole nother city, whole nother state, to be dream big. Now we got another opportunity. I'm not for to crown this thing. We got another opportunity to do something even more greater, because we dream big. So how do I dream big, Lord? I'm decreeing and declaring that we create job opportunities. That not only do we create job opportunities, but Harden Enterprise or New Destiny Church or SJCOC is a resource to multiple people to bring opportunities. I don't know what opportunity, Lord, whatever you want to do, I trust you. However you want to do it, God, I trust you. That's how it's like when you create that habit, like it's not my will, but your will, whatever you want. But God, I dream big. Let me be the puppet. Let me be the vessel. I'll be willing to be the person on the front line to go through whatever you want me to do. Here I am. And he makes a way. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm a little old girl from Point Blank, Texas. Girl, look, country town. You point and you blank. And he is doing it. Dream big, man. If you say, okay, I want a $10,000 month, speak it. If you want to go bigger, I want a $10,000 day, speak it. God will unfold, but that $10,000 just can't go to you. If you've seen a video that Bishop and I did a couple of days, yesterday actually, and we talked about how that money can't come to you, baby. It's got to go to everybody else. You only get a piece of the pie. If you're not money hungry, you can definitely build a habit that can build a 7-figure business. All right, here we go. Keep going, Tonya. Number 8, you got to be willing to be in the right rooms. Be in the right rooms. Ooh, type that. Be in the right room. I forgot we ain't lie. Be in the right rooms. When you're in the right rooms, it's like you being in this room and you're being in an incubator. And while you're in this incubator, you're being nurtured, you're being empowered, you're being encouraged, you're being reminded of what you said you was going to do. You're being coached, you're being challenged, you're being in networks. What I love about the mentor that I have or coaches that I have, they have rooms with people in the room. I want you to mentor me with folks in your room because I want to be able to network with them. I want to be able to collaborate with them. And I want to be able to, if somebody runs and tell me, okay, you can't do it, but because of my incubator, baby, I don't even hear you because they've not really told me I can. They told me I can and they showed me that I can. And they're living, their fruit is there. Yeah, they show me that I can. So you want to be right in the right rooms. Test the room out for a minute. Now, there's a lot of people that got a whole bunch of rooms out here. Look, Lions Den ain't the only room that is successful. BAM community is not the only room. I'm not telling you I am a mentor. I am a business coach. That ain't what I'm saying. Just get in a room that you have learned. So, okay, I'll talk about that later. I'm going to talk about that next. All right. Number 9, you got to pursue in silence. Pursue in silence. My husband and I, for 2 years, nobody knew what we were building. Oh, baby, they had their own opinion of what was happening because we were homeless. We weren't homeless. We decided to be homeless that time. We were homeless before. Then we decided on our own that we just gonna downsize. And as we were downsizing, the Lord was building. He was building. Told my husband said, okay, God said, start the business. All right, let's do it. And we started in 2020. We built for 2 years. We got our first contract. We started building in 2019. 2020 was official. We got our official LLC. And 2020 through 2021, we were building. I think it was 2022 or 21, one of them. We got our first contract with our city to do those 300 houses. We did all the work. We did a couple of things. We made sure we were in private. Not even my mama knew. Because I didn't need no one to PREY on what we were doing. But we knew we were building, but we didn't know how. We didn't know what. We trusted him. And 5 years later, we have 6 different departments that we created. Okay, we're going to talk about that. All right. Number 10. You got to be willing. So pursuing silence. Let me go back to that. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Get in rooms or get in the right rooms so that people can encourage you in those rooms. Because if you turn around and you tell somebody what you're doing and then the what you're doing get on your nerves. Let's say you have a catering company and you like, oh my God, this is just not working. I'm going to just go back to work. And you don't have no room to be in to tell you, don't you dare go back to work yet. How about you do ABC? You create forms, you create contracts, you create this, you create, for them to encourage you. And now, because how you gonna build a business for catering and you ain't even you at work? All right, never mind. Let me get off that. All right, number 10. we had to create a habit of becoming financially free. hmm Financially free. I told the ladies earlier, okay, that you may get in your feelings and this may hurt, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you really, really quick is that what happens is that we want to be our businesses or ourselves to be multimillionaires. So here's the thing: if you notice, I said a seven-figure business, a seven-figure business. But here's the thing: there's ways to do that to where you are a seven-figure business, but you yourself is also worth seven figures because of your assets and because of your collateral. You're able to be worth that much. But so many of us want the money of I want a seven figures money in my bank account, right? But you ain't even paid nobody. You weren't a good steward of the money that the Lord gave you. Why can I tell you? Because it was me and my husband. Baby, God told us pay off them 2 years that we were in hiding. I felt like he was hiding us like Moses. Like Moses' mother hid him. Yeah, before she sent him down the river. Before he got into the palace, he was hidden. I felt like the Lord was hiding us. And so in the midst of him hiding, for those 2 years, we paid off debt. Pay people what you owe. So I never forget when we started the process and we started paying off our debt and we started paying towards that. We had a foreclosure. I shared this with the BAM community. We had a foreclosure. And in this foreclosure, oh my God, today, it was bad. It was like, oh Lord, we about to have a foreclosure on this house because we messed up and we didn't pay the bill. Pastors of a church, we knew better. And so we called them after repenting, after asking God to show us how. We call them. We got with a financial advisor that showed us how to get to a point to start paying off debt. We call them. Guess what the people said? Let me show you how God worked. God said, you be faith. I need you to be a good steward. I want you to show me. By that time, we had paid off a couple of things. And now it's time to pay off the big boy, the house. And when we called them, they said, Mr. Hart, Miss Harden, your house did not foreclose at all. There's no foreclosure on your house. It was sold before the foreclosure. Come here. hmm AKA, you don't have no debt in foreclosure for no house. Paid in full. The Lord will make a way of escape for you, my sister. To the point it will be so mind blowing, okay? He will make a way of escape. So pay them people back what you owe them. And I teach people all the time. I work for Equifax. And so you can go to Credit Karma, I think it is, on your phone. Get the app. Go look. See what all you got to pay off. Find the smallest bill on there. Start paying towards that. I don't care if it's $10, $5, $15, whatever. Pay towards that. Pay that off. Start with the next one. As soon as you pay that off, that's going to up your credit. Okay? It's going to take your credit up. You just got to pay these folks back. How you going to handle seven figures for your business and you can't handle the thousands that you have? It's not going to work. So you got to be willing to do that. So we had to create a habit of financial freedom. And because of that, it has allowed us to build assets. It has allowed us to build collateral. And we worked a little something. And I thank the Lord for it. Right? And our children are. We are leaving an inheritance for our babies. You understand me? So you want to be able to do it. All right, number 11. Invest. You got to be willing. There's a moment I learned the habit of investments, investing into stuff. We invest in stocks, we invest in gold, do all that. But when it also invest in people, when it comes to business. So my coach, business coach, she's been my business coach now for about 4 or 5 years. And I invested in her. We invested in her in 2022. And it was a couple of thousands, okay? So there's a point, you invest a little bit. I've been investing since 2015, so I want to sow where I want to go. But this here was a bigger sow. But the bigger the sow, the more I learned in that room, and we left there. And after sowing into that room, we left there and flipped our very first house, bought our very investment property that now creates income for us. She taught us how to make money in our sleep. All right. 12. Done. You got to be willing build a habit of creating multiple streams of income. If you want to build I knew if we're going to build a 7-figure business, I'm going to have multiple streams of income. I can't just do one thing. So I was just doing the coaching. And that was just one, as far as business. My husband was working for a company, but I was doing that one. But it wasn't until we got with Harden Enterprise and it was just like, okay, here's the thing though. I was doing multiple things and I was booked and busy. But as my coach Brooks would say, I wasn't paid and free. And so I found myself doing and having my hands on a whole bunch of stuff. Like even when I started my coaching, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this next month, I'm gonna do this next month, I'm gonna do this next month. And I was just booked and busy, but I wasn't paid and free. And so we had to learn, okay, Tonya, if you're gonna do this one thing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do, Butterfly Academy, mentorship for women. Butterfly Academy is a program that will be able to help women. And I can't tell you what all it's going to turn into because it's some private, pursuing silence. So let me come and tell you Harden Enterprise. It was like, okay, we're going to be a Harden Enterprise. Harden Enterprise is going to be we thought it was going to be a business consulting company. What we found out later, no, because you can only do one thing, one person, one client. And that client, you may make $1,200 off that one client. But what we were going to do for that client, it was going to take at least 6 months to get it done. Who has to, no, that's not building. No. So we created, once we said, okay, we're going to find out what we're going to do. We started we got the opportunity from the school. From the city to be able to restore these homes. So we built a construction company. So while we're building that construction company, we're watching how the construction company is coming to where we're turned into GCs. GC allows you to sub out anything, roofing, painting, build, sheetrock. You can sub out all of these. So we partner with other small businesses and we sub them out to do this business. The business that we were doing. Okay, so it went from that to where we're subbing them out to where not only were we subbing out, we were doing walls, we were doing living rooms, we were doing the kitchen, we were doing, bedrooms, toilets, sinks, refrigerator, whatever. So we're doing all this stuff. And then it was like, oh, okay. Now, as we learn that, now let's try a whole house. Gutted out the house. That was our first investment property. Did the whole house. Worked out perfect. So then we started getting opportunities to do that. Started doing multiple houses. Then we noticed that other people started looking at our company and because of our certifications and was like, hey, do y'all construction company do debris? We didn't, but we learned. We got in the right rooms, learned from those people on how to do that. And then there's a debris company that now they're traveling right now on their way to South Carolina to go back for a new contract that we got. Do you learn how to build multiple? Okay, so now that we got, hey, people are asking, how y'all do this? You know what? We still want to help businesses though. But we don't want to help one business. We want to help a group of business. So we created the Lion's Den. Going from the Lion's Den to there's a book that's coming. You got all this stuff that turns into multiple streams. So now Harden Enterprise has 6 departments. You have our construction department. You have our printing and marketing because we started doing our own printing and we got a vendor and we do our own. We do banners. We do it. We do all that. Then you also have, so you have Harden Enterprise as the umbrella and all of these different departments, as well as my book publishing department. You have HE Book Publishing. You can't make it off bread alone. One piece of bread alone. You need multiple pieces of bread. I said it. That's all I have. 12 habits that I have learned on how to build a 7-figure business. If you notice, I really didn't talk about money like that because that ain't what it's about. It's the habits that you create to teach you how to go through the stairs and not the elevator. That teaches you how you have this big elephant. You're not eating a whole elephant, you're eating a pie. That teaches you how not to talk to turtles that do not understand because you're a giraffe. Your head is up because you're moving and you're looking, or you're becoming the eagle that God has called you to do. Because one thing about a giraffe, when their head is down too long, it starts to hurt. So you be having these conversations with people that don't understand, turtle, what's going on up in the air. So I'd rather be with the giraffes and the eagles. And okay, that's it. I pray this helped you. I pray you were encouraged. I just had to redo it because I wanted you to get the gist of what I was sharing. Until next time, if you don't remember anything else, remember, you are a product of God's grace and mercy when you see yourself through God's eyes and not people. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.